Hello, I'm Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Dan Lair, and I'm here once again with the case of the week. We do a lot of work here at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office with experienced criminals, people who have been in the system for quite a long time. We also occasionally work with people who are just getting their start in the field of criminal behavior. And this case is about a young man who is well on his way to spending a fair amount of time in our files. I want to talk to you about this case with Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Katie Bouvier. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Dan.
Wanted to talk to you a little bit about a case that you covered for us in Motion Hour a couple of weeks ago. First, tell us a little bit about your background, how you came to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office here in Lexington.
Well, I interned here when I was in law school, and my father had worked here for many years, so I kind of grew up around these halls, and after law school and a clerkship, made it over here, and I've been here just over a year now.
And as one of the younger attorneys in our office, do you cover Motion Hour or court appearances pretty much every week?
Yes.
And do you recall anything out of the ordinary a couple of weeks ago that happened that was different than what a usual day at work is for you guys?
Yes. Usually we have just boring defendants coming through and updating statuses, but we always take note whenever there is a defendant in a red jumpsuit. Means they usually have anger issues, and sometimes things can get interesting, which it did on that day.
Well, I did a little research on this case. This young man's name is Sloan. He is 18 years of age. He turned 19 a couple of weeks ago. And how Mr. Sloan came to us, let me make sure I get his right name, Ryan T. Sloan. Mr. Sloan was arrested in a traffic stop. He was in a car with several juveniles. He was the front seat passenger. The patrol officers pulled everybody out of the vehicle. They did a search. They found a gun that turned out to be a toy. They also talked to Mr. Sloan, who told them he would like what was in their pockets and he should take a hit. So the officers searched him, found him to be in possession of heroin, and they found a crack pipe that he admitted to having. So that's how he got to us. He pled guilty, and then he went to be sentenced in the 3rd Division here in Fayette Circuit Court. I believe it was November 7th. And so he came in the red jumpsuit. We have for you a heavily edited version of the courtroom video on this particular date.
Because you were on probation at the time, had absconded from probation, you're going to have to run this 1 year consecutive to...
I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm ready to go.
I'm sorry? Come on. Okay.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
Well, I know, but I got something else.
What you got to say?
Okay. All right, I'm going to have to hold the defendant in contempt for cursing the court in open court.
That's right. This whole court.
That'll be an additional 6 months on top of everything else.
6 months.
You have a nice day, sir.
So, would it be fair to say that that was a little bit out of the ordinary for a Friday afternoon in court here in Fayette County?
Yes, definitely some colorful language, and I guess he was just upset that he was receiving prison time instead of probation. Told the judge what he thought, and later talking to the judge, he said, you know, it's all in a day's work, and I think that's how he was able to end his conversation with Mr. Sloan with, "Have a nice day, sir." So we got him out of there and moved on to the next guy.
There you go. Well, corrections records show that Mr. Sloan was on misdemeanor probation at the time of his arrest. He was sentenced to a year for possession of the heroin that he had, 12 months for the crack pipe. He got a 6-month sentence for being in contempt of court for his verbal abuse of the judge. And at this point, he remains incarcerated in the Fayette County Detention Center. So, I'm Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Dan Lair, and this is Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Katie Bouvier, and this has been the Case of the Week.